A video game genre is one way to talk about the mechanics, or how a game plays when compared to similar games. So let's talk about some of the most common 2D video game genres out there and what mechanics they're commonly made up of. One of the most breathtaking games to have come out in the last decade is Hyper Light Drifter. This masterpiece falls into the adventure genre, giving you plenty of action and enemies to slice up, puzzles to solve, and a deep narrative to dive into. And their strength is their blend of exciting, movie-like moments and the puzzles you solve to progress the story. Adventure games throw you into intense, heart-pounding battles and stories while also letting you breathe. You can just sit by the warm glow of a fire and live in its world. Making friends and surviving school is tough. Would you want to play a game about something like that? The answer might just surprise you when you see how clever, interesting, and fun the visual novel genre can be. Instead of testing your reflexes, the visual novel genre is all about diving into a new world, meeting new friends, and making decisions that ultimately determine how the story unfolds. Take a look here at Valhalla, a cyberpunk-themed visual novel where you're running a bar and immersing yourself in the lives of your patrons. The questions you ask, the stories you tell, they will influence everyone you meet along the way, sometimes in surprising and permanent ways. The hero's story begins with an everyday man or woman being thrust into a great adventure, often growing stronger and saving their friends or maybe the entire world along the way. No game genre encompasses this better than the RPG, or role-playing game. If you love an epic story filled with twists and turns where your choices determine who lives, who dies, and who turns into a chihuahua, then you're right at home here. Undertale may be the most well-known RPGs made in GameMakers, and rightly so. It blends its unique sense of humor with an engaging battle and dialogue system, where what you do really does determine how the world turns out. Grow stronger through every encounter, uncover the mystery of your past, and become the hero or villain you were meant to be. If you love to tap your feet to the beat of a song, or you find yourself singing in the shower while doing the disco dance, then I've got the perfect genre for you. The rhythm genre blends together action, puzzles, adventure, and almost every other genre with a unique twist of doing it all to the beat. You can move your feet in the classic arcade game of Dance Dance Revolution, slice up glowing blocks inside a virtual world in Beat Saber, or even compete to be the best professional table tennis player in Lo-Fi Ping Pong. In Lo-Fi Ping Pong, you must match your movements to the beat of the song, or it's game over. Rhythm games are wildly diverse in their setting, songs, and gameplay, but they all come back to one simple mechanic: do it to the beat. Hey, psst, do you love sports? Football, golf, baseball? It doesn't matter what sport, because there's a game just for you. The sports genre is one of the best-selling game genres on the market. You can be the hero, draft your own team and lead them to victory, or even use remote-controlled cars to play soccer. There's no limit to the kind of sport you can play or how you can play it. One of the wackiest and most entertaining sports games to come out recently is Guts and Goals, a frantic take on soccer. You'll use clubs, special abilities, and a crazy assortment of players to get your ball into their goal. Anything goes here. One wrong move and it's all over. You die, the world crumbles, and the game ends. That's the kind of intense pressure action games put you in. If you can't stand the heat, then get out of the kitchen. Just look at these split-second reflexes required in Katana Zero. He's deflecting bullets with a sword! Action games are all about action, requiring you to slash, shoot, or blow your way through wave after wave of enemies. They are a roller coaster ride that's all downhill, full of adrenaline and excitement. These games require practice, cat-like reflexes, and a bucket load of grit to get back up again and again, because you will die a lot. Have you ever dreamed of facing down hordes of bad guys with nothing but your own two hands? Bring all the guts you've got, because that's what the fighting genre is all about. Whether you're on the streets of rage, storming through the sewers to take down some dinosaurs, or battling out of control mutants and castles, you're in for a great time. A fighting game will force you to master the controls, invent new fighting styles, and best your opponent, who could just be your best friend. Shattered Realms is an up-and-coming fighting game that takes fighting to the next level with on-the-fly combos, interchangeable abilities, and epic boss fights that will get your blood pumping. Well, isn't this just lovely? So peaceful, so serene. Surely this can't be the bullet hell genre, can it? Oh, wait. There it is. Archvale is the soul of the bullet hell genre personified. In it, you'll need the nimbleness of a cat, the killer instinct of a lion, and some really quick fingers to dodge everything flying your way. If you love seeing so many flashing lights and pretty colors on the screen you can barely tell up from down, then this genre was tailor-made for you. Bullet hell games require frenetic action. There's no time to sit still. Everything on the screen wants to kill you, and there's no way you're talking your way out of this. Take up your sword, bow, mace, magic fire wand, or whatever you can get your hands on, get out there, and destroy everything that moves.
It's time to do.
Oh boy, that brings back memories, doesn't it? We're not talking about card games with this genre. Instead, we're talking about games with turns, or more formally known as turn-based games. This fantastic genre dips into the more thoughtful and strategic side of gaming, often giving you plenty of time to think about what's happening now and what's going to happen in the next few turns. One great turn-based game is Keylocker, where you must both master the move you're using with a unique musical twist, but also be able to see 3 steps ahead so you don't get destroyed by what's coming up. Every turn matters, and the knowledge you've gained up to this point will either save you or be your undoing.
I wanna be the very best.
If you want to be the best, like no one ever was, then the multiplayer game genre is for you. A multiplayer game can come in every shape and size, from games in your pocket to the competitive esports scene where millions of dollars are on the line. Multiplayer games bring people together, no matter where they are in the world. This genre focuses on playing with someone, or maybe a party of people, like in Among Us or the Jackbox party games. One of my favorite multiplayer games is Rivals of Aether, a competitive platformer fighter similar to Smash Bros. It's got super tight combat, a fleshed out world and storyline, and every character has their own unique and powerful combat style. It's a game you can pick up and play for an hour for fun, or a year to try to become the very best. For this game genre, death is only the beginning. In fact, death is the doorway you must walk through to continue your journey. Every time you die, you grow stronger. Not just with your weapons or abilities, but your very skills and knowledge. This genre is the roguelike, one of my personal favorites. There are so many amazing games with unique twists on the rogue genre, but they all adhere to just a few simple rules. It's always different, and death is never the end. The games create a new level for you every time you turn it on, so the adventure is never the same as the one before. And when you die, you're ready to get back into battle with new knowledge or powers to finally take down that boss once and for all. There's a secret to be found behind every twist, turn, and waterfall. That might be your motto if you're a fan of the Metroidvania genre. A game genre that is made up of 2 classic games, Metroid and Castlevania. This genre has been around since the beginning of home consoles and is beloved by millions of gamers around the world. In this genre, you begin with a very limited set of abilities that you can explore an unknown and usually hostile world. You must blaze your own trail through enemies and obstacles, upgrading your powers and skill set along the way, usually with huge and awesome boss battles. Every new power and item unlocks a new section of the mysterious world, but you must retrace your steps and look for cracks in the walls to find every hidden nook and cranny. Jumpman, the original name of Mario, is an accurate representation of the classic platformer genre. Way back when, the 2D genre made a name for itself with the historic platformer games like Super Mario Bros., Sonic, and the now classic Celeste. These days, the platformer genre is still going strong and innovating with fun new twists on the original formula. You might be jumping between platforms, using a sword to fend off villains, or shifting the very law of gravity to aid you on your journey. Though this may be one of the oldest and most well-known game genres ever, it is still going as strong today as it was 40 years ago. Look around and you might just find a new favorite game that just happens to be a platformer. Have you ever wished you could play a game while not playing a game? Then the idle game genre is a match made in heaven. You can click cookies, blow leaves, or obliterate swaths of enemies, all while relaxing in your recliner and taking a nap. I know that might sound pretty boring, but these idle games will often have many choices to reward the clever player. This genre is all about maximizing your time outside of the game to reap rewards when it is turned off, and then power up the next time you dive in. The overall goal is to see numbers go up, up, and up to the sky. If you're looking for an idle game that you want to try, I suggest Leaf Blower Revolution. This is a game that I have been playing for the last several months, and it's really been awesome and engaging. Not only do you just collect and blow leaves away, you have to scale a tower full of enemies, dive deep under pyramids, and so much more. This idle game will keep you occupied for a lot longer than you could ever imagine a game about blowing leaves would be able to. And now, I'll let you in on a little secret. All the games that you've been seeing on the screen have been made in GameMaker, an engine that makes it easy to make your first game and your dream game. Head on over to GameMaker.io to download for free and get started today.